Hey everyone. The 49ers logged their first win of the season. They beat the New York Jets 32-19. And it was a coming out party for JP Mason, who ran the ball 28 times for 147 yards and a touchdown. Um, Interestingly, the press conference afterwards was a little funky. So the story is that I guess Laura Rutledge asked him um, on the field when he found out he was going to be starting, and he told her Friday. Well, it's Monday, and none of us, no media knew that Christian McCaffrey was going to get scratched or be a scratch for the game. So maybe PR told him to, hey, don't say anything more about when you found out, um, because there could be repercussions. But I don't think there necessarily will be. They could have told him, hey, you're going to get more touches. Hey, you're going to get more time on the field. So be ready just in case he's not ready to go. Christian McCaffrey on, I think it was Friday, said, hey, yeah, I'm going to play. I'm definitely going to play. So I don't think that there was any lying involved. I just think that, they were making sure JP Mason was going to be prepared to play an extended amount of snaps on Monday. So that's why he was a little kind of prickly, I guess, during his press conference. I wasn't there, I was in the locker room. But regardless, really, really great showing by JP Mason, who had his issues with Bobby Turner at the beginning, right? Running backs coach. I think Bobby Turner asks as much from his running backs as Kyle Shanahan does from his wide receivers. JP Mason took the offseason, got a jugs machine. He, made sure to emulate everything Christian McCaffrey does. He wants to be, catching the ball out of the backfield like Christian McCaffrey does. So, I mean, really happy for him that he had such a great game because he worked so hard for it during the offseason. Deebo Samuel was circa 2021. Brandon Ayuk didn't understand the question when I asked it to him, but Deebo Samuel, 8 carries for 23 yards, 5 catches for 54 yards. It was like he was back in that 2021 zone where he was carrying the ball and catching passes. Brock Purdy, good game, 19 of 29, 231 yards. But, I think it's going to take a little bit of time for this offense to get back on its feet and rolling like it was at the end of 2023. Trent Williams, Brandon Ayuk. I know Brandon Ayuk wants that pass back that he missed in the end zone. But to not have Brandon Ayuk, not have Trent Williams, but for four, not even five practice, they were back at the facility with only 4 practices before this game. So, I think it's going to take a little while for this group to get rolling. Now, on the other side of the ball, though, man, the defensive line only allowed 68 yards on the ground. They really stopped Aaron Rodgers. He didn't have a great game. I think it's going to be hard for him. He hasn't played meaningful football since January of 2022. So, his fourth snap of the 2023 season was Leonard Floyd, who sacked him, caused the Achilles injury. And interestingly enough, the guy who sacked Aaron Rodgers on Monday night, Leonard Floyd. Um, I kind of expected a little bit more pass rush opportunities for the 49ers, but I think those will come. I think stopping the run is the first step. And then, man, Malik Collins is going to be really great next to Nick Bosa and Javon Hargrave. I think they're really going to be a force to be reckoned with, stopping the run in the middle. And I think Leonard Floyd, man, I think they've really gotten it right with this defensive line. And the great thing about them, unlike the offense, is that the defensive line has had all of these practices together, right? Through training camp, through a preseason. I mean, they've worked together a lot, and Chris Kasarik has his guys ready. So I think, I spoke to Leonard Floyd. I was like, how do you feel like the potential of this defense is? And he said, we're just scratching the surface. So Leonard Floyd said, yeah, I don't know why it was me that got to sack Aaron Rodgers, but he said, lucky for me. But he really has liked his time so far with the 49ers, veteran guy, but has enjoyed his time and thinks that, the potential of this defensive line is so high. And Nick Bosa said it as well. I think that there are so many opportunities for us. Um, he said, I think having, he's talking about Leonard Floyd on the other side is going to open up a lot of things for all the guys rushing. Malik played an awesome game in the run, and he's a great vet to have. And me and him are going to work really well together on the left there. So Nick Bosa was very excited in his very subdued way after the game. And I think it's a great sign for the defense. Trent Williams did come off the field a little bit gimpy. We're going to talk about the offense a little bit now. A little bit gimpy, but went back into the game just fine. The same thing with Jauan Jennings, came out with an ankle injury, went back into the game. Man, Jauan Jennings caught everything that was thrown at him. 5 catches, um, 5 targets, 64 yards. I mean, just proving that he deserved that contract extension. He is signed through the 2025 season. I think Brandon Aiyuk is going to get better. His connection with Brock Purdy is going to get better. I think they're just going to play better. I was also impressed by Dominic Pooney. Dominic Pooney said to me after the game that the Jets defensive line, they were doing stunts aimed just at him. And he held up really well. We'll get the PFF grades on pressures allowed tomorrow morning, or I guess this morning, since this is like almost 1 in the morning as I'm recording this. But I think that this offensive line is just going to gel more. I think this rookie class has been really good. I don't think anyone should be worried about the fact that they couldn't punch it in the red zone, 6 field goals. But I mean, I think the fact that they're moving the ball, I mean, the time of possession was so skewed. The Niners had two 12 play drives, two 11 play drives. I mean, this was a domination, and it really is, I think, a good sign for what the 49ers offense can do. They just didn't get into the end zone as much as they wanted to. But the fact that Jake Moody hit 6 of 6, I mean, really good performance by him, and not just short field goals either. He had one from 51 and one from 53 yards, another one from 46, 42, 31, and the shortest one was 23 yards. So the fact that Jake Moody didn't miss at all and was like ice in his veins, really good sign that they'll be able to count on him in the future. So um, great game for the 49ers defense to show what they're capable of and the potential of the offense. And I think there's a lot more to do. I don't know any further details on Christian McCaffrey's injury. I felt like when we saw him running at practice this week, he looked good. Um, but I mean, I don't know what he's feeling. So if he's feeling any kind of way, they want to protect him and make sure that he is ready for the long haul. It's a long season, and I think they're going to be safe with him. They're going to be safe with Talanoa Hufanga, who's coming back from an injury, and ACL injury, and Dre Greenlaw, who's coming back from an Achilles injury. All of those guys making their way back, they're going to be careful with. Now, Ricky Pearsall was also at the game. Kind of fun moment for him for how tragic and scary the incident was with him being shot. They honored the first responder who got to him and made sure he was calm when he was shot. They honored the doctor who helped him in the emergency room and stitched him up. So remarkable that he is out and about and was on the field talking to people, signing autographs on the field during the entire game. Um, just really excited for him that he's fine and that he'll make his way back. They're going to be careful with him too, though, because the shoulder injury that he had. If it wasn't this shoulder injury, they might have not put him on NFI. That requires him to sit out 4 games at least. We have not seen them say that he's going to practice at all. They haven't opened that window at all. So we'll wait to hear from that. We will talk to Kyle Shanahan on Tuesday morning. I can't remember what day it is. So we'll try to get more updates about Christian McCaffrey and everything else that happened. But from just without watching film, a good start for the 49ers. I think there's a lot of potential for them. They left a lot out on the field, but they were able to get away with a win. And, I think that's a good thing. Lots of good from this week 1 opener. Again, They beat the Jets 32-19. It's a short week. They're preparing for the Minnesota Vikings. They will travel, I think, on either Friday night or Saturday morning. It might be Saturday morning. Game on Sunday. Probably Friday night is when they leave. So, very short week. We will have a conference call with Kyle on Tuesday, light practice Wednesday. Don't forget to watch our live stream shows, 49ers Now. That's on Wednesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. And also listen and subscribe to 49ers Talk. Um, any news that we get about any of the players and their injuries or whatnot, definitely have them for you here. All right, so stay tuned and I'll have more updates for you here. Also, coming up, week 2, bump box video will be on its way. Away games, that's when I get to see it. So definitely stay tuned for those. All right, talk to you guys soon.